Hello students, I hope you have seen and understood the previous video. So let's now come to the third stanza of the same poem, A Thing of Beauty. So we saw in the previous stanzas that a beautiful thing is a joy forever and its loveliness increases, and the beautiful things are compared with a shady place, a sleep full of sweet dreams, and when we are surrounded by beautiful things or beautiful memories, our health is improved and our breathing is very normal. So now there are some examples of beautiful things, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young. Every simple object of nature show beauty at its best. We can appreciate simple and serene beauty in the sun, the moon, the trees. All beauties of nature have an elixir of life, existence of life. If we have the real beauty of our life, that is just the natural things. So these natural things like sun, moon or old and young trees are very beautiful. Trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. The poet sees the tree, whether young or old, as a symbol of protection. Protection from heat, intensive light of sun, rain. They bless us with shade. Okay. Sheep is a symbol of innocence and serene beauty. So we people who are innocent, we can get protection under the trees. The poet has made specific reference to the sheep as symbols of divine beauty. Okay, like Jesus Christ was a shepherd, his sheep, his flowers. So every human being who is innocent will enjoy these bounties of nature, the beautiful things. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in. The next example of beautiful things are daffodil flowers and the green world, means the forest. Meadows and pastures are beautiful and support life. True joy and happiness can be enjoyed by looking at daffodils in these lush green meadows and pastures. So, if we see the simple daffodil flowers, there are a variety of flowers. They give us relaxation, they make our mood happy, or we can get enjoyment as well. Stanza number 4. And clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. Clear rills are also beautiful things. It refers to the rivers and streams. Their beautiful sight gives a cooling effect which provides respite in summers. That is the reason if in summers we go to the hill stations or we just go by nearby a water body, we will feel relaxed. The mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Brake is a kind of water body where the water is full of the dust and dirt. Okay, it's not pure. The poet enjoys nature's beauty in the thick forest undergrowth. The mid forest is brimming with blooming musk roses. So if you are crossing a forest and you see just a small water body and having roses grown in it, it will be very beautiful. These are all the examples of beautiful things, some of the examples. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms, grandeur, grand, beauty. And such will be the beauty of the doomsday. Doomsday. What is the doomsday? Doomsday can be called as the final judgment day. Okay, where the souls who have done anything good will be rewarded, and the souls which have done bad or evil would be given the punishment. So that is called the doomsday, when every human being will be vanished from this earth and they'll be given the punishment or rewards. Growth and decay march hand in hand. They are two vital aspects of life. If something is growing, something is decaying as well. Life and death both go hand in hand. The poet sees beauty in decay and death of these beautiful things as well. The lines beautifully bring to light contrasting aspects of life, growth and decay. So if growth is beautiful, decay, death is also beautiful. Stanza number 5. Doomsday we have imagined for the mighty dead. The mighty dead refers to those great warriors who glorified death by embracing it. The people who had embraced death for the benefit of others. The poet feels that beauty is not limited to birth and growth but can also be seen in magnificent death. Doomsday can also be beautiful if the person has embraced death beautifully. Okay, if the person is happy, dying too, suppose for a nation or for something else, that is also beautiful. All lovely tales that we have heard or read. We have read many beautiful stories. So here you can also see that beauty is there in literature too. Beauty is there in stories too. It's not only in the things or the people or the experiences or the memories. It is there in the literature too. Beauty can be found in literature too. Great men leave an everlasting source of motivation to all those who read or hear about them. If you read about Maharana Pratap, if you read about so many brave personalities, Jhansi Ki Rani, so you will also feel refreshed. These are also beautiful things. A glorified and magnificent past is never forgotten. It gets recorded in the leaves of history. Any history record which is there can motivate you is also a beautiful thing. An endless fountain of immortal drink, that is also beautiful. These are all the examples of beautiful things. Earlier it was all about natural things, then it came to literature, doomsday, and now the poet says that there is an endless fountain of immortal drink which is very beautiful. We know that immortal drink is just a symbol. There is no such drink. If the drink is had by anybody, he would not be died, and but it's not there. Beauty in all respects, whether in growth or decay, is a perennial source of motivation, permanent source of motivation. It is like an endless fountain whose drink gives strength and motivates us. If you read more and more about this thing, or if you are surrounded by more and more beautiful experiences, beautiful thoughts, beautiful people, beautiful memories, then you will live longer. So in this way, this beautiful, all the beautiful things are like immortal drink. If we enjoy this beauty of the nature, our life will be longer. Okay, nature would give us a long life. That is the reason all the beautiful things are compared with immortal drink. So this is all about the poem. Last line is pouring up to us from the heavens brink. This fountain of immortal drink is pouring up to us from the heavens brink. We know there is no heaven, we know there is no brink of heaven. Then why the poet has used this line? He is using this line that beauty pours upon us from the heaven. Beauty is a divine gift, it is eternal and everlasting. So beauty is there in every corner of the nature. If we enjoy the nature, if we come outside, if we come out of our houses and we enjoy the beautiful things, or if we are inside the houses and we enjoy the company of the beautiful people, or if we are always busy in beautiful thoughts, then we are like having that immortal drink up to us, and the result would be that we will be living longer. So this was your poem, and now I'm going to tell you about literary devices used in this poem. So now let's begin the poetic devices. The first one is metaphor. As you know, metaphor is used to compare two things but without using as or like. Bower quiet refers to a quite shady part in the garden. Sweet dreams, happy dreams. So these are comparison. Breathing a flowery band means connecting to nature. Pall, a covering like a shroud. Without using as or like, these metaphors are there. Endless fountain of immortal drink. This phrase refers to the deeds of great men and women that have made them a source of inspiration for people of all times. So these are the comparison with the good deeds of the people. This is metaphor. The list of beautiful things is metaphors and symbols of nature. Okay, sun, moon, doomsday, all these are also metaphors. Next is alliteration. Alliteration where the sounds are repeated. Noble natures, cooling covered, band to bind. Okay, here BB sound, CC sound, and NN sound. These are repeated, so it is alliteration. Next is imagery. Flowery band. This imagery is used. Shady boon, clear rails, daffodils in green world. So these phrases create the image in the mind. Grandeur of dooms and cooling covered. These are examples of imagery. Next is symbol. Simple sheep refers to mankind as Christ is considered the shepherd who leads human souls out of the dark world of sins and temptations. So indirectly, simple sheep refers to Christ. Next is transferred epithet. What is it? We discussed in 11th in the poem photograph. Transferred epithet means when an adjective is used to describe some other word. It's the adjective is used but to describe the quality of other, like gloomy days. Gloomy is the adjective, but it is describing days. Gloomy days. Unhealthy and over darkened ways. Next is oxymoron, where contrasting words are there, like mighty, dead. Dead, actionless, powerless, and all. But with that, adjective is added mighty, mighty, dead, opposite word. So it is oxymoron. These are the literary devices, and tomorrow we'll be doing the question and answers of this poem. I would again say please prepare for your subjective test on Wednesday for 2 chapters. Okay, have a nice day.